Hi everyone, I hope you are well. So in today's video, I wanted to have an open and honest conversation about what it's like riding a bike as a beginner in Amsterdam. I feel a little bit embarrassed that as an adult I can't ride a bike competently here because it seems like everybody can ride properly. Just to give you some background, as a kid I did have a bike, but it was the kind of bike where, you know, when you're seated your feet are firmly on the ground, so you're very, very stable. And you know when people say, hey, you know, you never forget how to ride a bike. Yeah, no, that's not entirely true. You never forget how to ride a kid's bike, but an adult's bike, that's a completely different ball game. So when I first got my bike here, it just felt so enormous. It felt like some kind of tank, and I couldn't quite fathom how I was going to get my leg over it. You know, I just felt so like uncoordinated getting my leg over this thing, and I had a lot of difficulty starting and stopping. Like riding the bike itself, not so much of an issue, but starting the bike, like starting to ride the bike, it felt like a real like leap of faith, because you know there's like a fraction of a second where your feet aren't touching the ground, but you're not moving that much. So there's like this sort of leap of faith, like, am I gonna move? And then when you stop, for me, it was sort of a feeling of panicked hope, like I really hope I can stop in time. You know, what I did was I practiced in the car park. I practiced starting and stopping the bike. It looked ridiculous, and thankfully the car park is quite empty most of the time, but you know, sometimes there'd be people going into their cars to leave, and you know, I would kind of pretend that I'm about to leave too, or people would arrive and I would pretend that I just arrived. Now the problem that I faced quite quickly was that I kept seeing the same neighbor downstairs, and I don't know how that happened. You know, I was going down at random times, but I kept seeing him down there, and I thought to myself, I cannot keep up this ridiculous charade of pretending that I've just arrived or I'm just gonna leave. So, you know, I started chatting with him, and I told him what I was doing and explained that like I really suck at riding a bike right now. He really understood where I was coming from, and he was like, yeah, you should totally be practicing down here. And then, you know, he joked that he could send his grandson over to teach me how to ride a bike, and we both had a laugh about it. But honestly, I was dying inside when he said that. I was like, oh my God, I am so embarrassed right now. But yeah, anyways, it's got better since then. So riding in Amsterdam, you know, people are so skilled riding bikes here. Like I am constantly marveling at what people are doing. You know, they're not just riding their bike, they are riding their bike and walking their dog, or you know, carrying chairs or massive bits of furniture. Their hands are in their pockets, they're on their phone, they're riding with a suitcase, riding with a huge canvas and carrying their shopping. And like, I don't know how they do this. Like, I don't have any spare capacity with my hands. Like, they are firmly gripping the handlebars. You know, one hand is like ready to break at any moment. And yeah, I don't have any spare capacity. In fact, I wish that I had some extra hands, you know, to give me more stability, to be honest. So another thing is level of fitness. Now people here, they make it look effortless. It's almost like they're gliding past me on the bike, and like I have not found it effortless. I am dying on that bike, and I've just managed to do 10K, and the last 200 meters, my legs were like, nah, no more. And so I just got off the bike and walked the bike home because I just had enough, right? You know, riding a bike with like cars and a lot of people near you I still find that very, very nerve-wracking. I'm not relaxed when there are lots of cars and people around me. I feel this like pressure of trying to like move off quickly, and yeah, it's just not second nature. I'm not super steady on the bike yet, and sometimes the cars are like, they're not super close, but they are quite close, and I think my spatial awareness is not quite there yet. So yeah, that's where I'm at with riding a bike at the moment. And here's hoping to it getting easier, and maybe in a year's time I'll look back on this and think, yeah, I was pretty bad at writing, but it did get better. Anyways, we'll see. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and also consider subscribing. Until next time, goodbye.